because that interview you conducted with
Who's
DC
person
was
talking?
like 2-3 weeks prior to the release of the episode.
Yeah, it was in January. Yeah, if it had been this week, like I would have had a whole like litany of questions to ask. Because so much shit had come out on Twitter like over like that week. We had done it like in January still.
Right.
That's funny.
And we talked about it, and I said maybe you could have pushed back a little bit harder because when I listened back to the interview, I was like, oh,
thank you, Jay. John said that too.
But again, like we're only, I don't know, we're still learning,
Yeah,
we're still getting better at it. So next time you do an interview like that, I'm sure we'll make Kirk and everyone proud.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that's definitely what's gonna happen. So anyway, another thing that came out, and I'm pretty sure Andrew will say this in about 5 minutes when he's on with Minifan News. Is, I'm on the death list, and he wants me to climb to the top of Hancock Tower, whatever the fuck you call that building.
They're not sure.
And then jump off, but I'm scared of heights. So any other way you want me to do it, Kirk, just let me know.
Well, they kind of got confused whether they didn't really say buddy.
Yeah, no, Kirk doesn't. I don't. Yeah.
So they would get confused with you and Andrew. So maybe
Kirk doesn't know my name is fine. I don't even. It was good that he didn't know. It was good.
Yeah. So hopefully he gets about it in a few weeks, and then whenever we piss him off again, he'll probably fucking bring it up.
Yeah, when they finally like really lay into us, because they said they had that sound from the beginning. Like they said, Kirk listens because he fucking made fun of your voice. Like all that, and when they finally lay into us, like for real, it's gonna fucking hurt. But like I said, I was worried all weekend, and I was like we were trying to, we like DM Sopranos guy. We're like, hey, what do you think? Like, how bad do you think it's gonna be? Talking to Tim McCann, obviously, and then it just like for it to be what it was. Like I'm very happy to escape on that.
Yeah, and I think it was the same criticism as just we didn't push back hard enough. That's all. Next time going forward, we'll know.
That's one of those things too, where like the original setup for that interview should have been like you as a producer. You know what I mean? So to speak, like off mic. And I'm not like blaming you at all. Like obviously, like, you were a little under the weather that week.
COVID.
but yeah. So I maybe if there was another set of ears on it, who could have like jumped in.
Like whoa, but I mean shit.
But again, I'm just stupid. Like I should have done better. What are you gonna do? Stupid people do stupid things.
Yeah, we're gonna learn from it. I gotta fart so bad.
Do it. Go ahead. Just Kirkin off.
Can you hear that?
Yeah, totally.
This is my bacon and eggs for this morning, but
all right, let's go to the news.
Okay.
We interrupt this segment of Kirkin Off to find out what's been going on in the Minifan world with Andrew Augustus.
A calm week in the Minifan world. Steve's in trouble once again. And when will we see Team KMS back on the dozen? I'm Andrew Augustus, and yes, Steve, I'm not the parody. I am the real Andrew Augustus, and this is the Kirkin Off Minifan News. It's been a relatively quiet week in the Minifan world after last week blew up when Dale almost lost his golden ticket due to his association with the GVE. Speaking of the GVE, when asked multiple times about the name, the only logical response we've been able to understand is, quote, we are GVE. Tune into Kirkin Off to find out if we actually know. We have an update to the Kirk's death wish list, as the show, mainly Steve, mistakenly thought it was me who interviewed DEC, but it was actually Buddy, who was then asked by Kirk to climb to the top of a building and make his face kiss the pavement. Rest in peace, Buddy. You were a good one. It's been a bad week for Steve, as the sound quality was absolute dog shit on the show Wednesday, and then there was a no-show co-host Friday due to complications with texting. We'll give Steve a little bit of a break because Jared isn't the brightest bulb in the box. Trivia. But hey, it looks like Steve's going to be taking a relaxing weekend to get his head right, and hopefully the show comes out clean on Monday with some great Benjamin Albright talk, who's back in the news because he's an asshole.
Yeah. This is brutal.
Lastly, Kirk callers on
fast forward to
the 50 state challenge is forthcoming, so fans be ready to tackle all 50 states. We got a new sponsor this week to the show. Welcome Omaha Steaks. As someone who enjoys the steaks, let's just say it's one of the happiest sponsors I'm waiting for. In the competition field, we do not have a set date announced yet for the KMS team to take on Casey Smith,
Keyword Kirk.
Captain Cons, and Feidelberg,
Yeah.
the team that's notorious for
For
cheating.
free chicken
But
burger.
Kurt has said on the show that he is going to single-handedly
something else.
put Steve and Jared on his back. Remember, earlier in the week, Steve was kicked off the team, but then Jared brought him back. So it's been a little back and forth at the end of the week. So we will see the team of Minahan, Carabas, and Robinson try to get back onto the 2-1 stage. I'm Andrew Augustus for Purple Ass Minuteman News. Now let's head on over to Buddy, Blind Mike's daddy. And hey, would you look at that? They're letting me out of the booth. Myself, as we
okay.
talk to BA to figure out what the fuck is GDE.
BA doesn't like me on the drops. He likes Grover. I love Grover too, but I think it can be a team
Hey,
member.
how'd you get into it, man?
Wow.
Oh, here we
Wow.
go. Here we go.
That's a shocker, man. I wasn't prepared.
Somebody
for
ping
this.
me when BA's on.
I would say like you know,
It's on right now.
Marshall, I think the Curtatone video was the first, and hearing him
You
on the
probably
radio
thought that was just him
in,
rambling. But you could hear.
like whenever he was on Barstool for the Super Bowl weeks. I guess like there was a buzz around the show, right? There was a big like the Curtatone stuff, the Street Pride. I think the Street Pride video too is like an underrated one. Remember, then just dove right in. So it is true. It's like nothing I ever thought of. It's like a online community of trolls and whatever, and then a show that was like crack at one point, you know.
At one point, does that mean it's not crack anymore?
I'm already
Well, I
freezing.
would say I could say the show sucks and whatever, but it's like you're living up to high expectations. But I would say at one point the show was like you couldn't miss it. I guess you couldn't miss it. Like you were like I was like I need to watch. Like I need to listen as soon as I can. And now I think it's more of you could like you may miss it. You may be behind a day or two, but like you're still catching up by the end of the week. I would say so. I think it went from like a daily kind of you need
He was
to
telling us this
you need
last
to
night.
like you need to know what's going on to you're good you're still know you can know what's going on without
You're saying
actually
it's 3 days a week
being
now?
like
Wow.
you're not as addicted. I guess he's weaning the Minifans off a little bit. They were like they were crack addicts and now they're going through rehab.
Do you think that happened because of like the Wednesday shows just being Kirk and Steve?
I think Kirk and Steve probably like just them together had a lot to do with it. Like because and I think it was the election too, because it turned into like politics, and like it was like Kirk's good at talking and like I think he makes there's stuff he'll always make funny, but like when it's just politics, it's kind of like okay, like for me I like hearing about the wacky Minifan drama and like all that inside stuff or like I like him like exposing he texted Steve and Steve said something about Mike and like all that kind of stuff is like what I really like. But then you talk about politics all the time, it's kind of everyone's talking about politics. So.
Are you still listening to the show actively?
I would say like I do the weekend catch-ups kind of thing, like I'll catch up on the weekend. So and like so yeah, I would say the weekend catch-ups, not as much as like I said, not before where you're like addicted to listening to it. It's more of I'll get to it when I can, but I still like I can't say I'm not gonna be that guy to be like, oh fuck the show, I don't listen to it at all. Like I definitely do listen. I'm more of like a Minifan fan than a Minifan, I guess. I like the boys. I like mixing up with the boys online.
This week's Wednesday show was the first time where I was like, okay, like when I catch up with this, I'll catch up with it. Like and it's like I think Ziggy was saying you're busting balls, but he made a good point. It took Steve 20 minutes to recommend like the headphones for Kirk, which I kind of like fixed. Like after that, it wasn't so bad, but even like he hates that. Like he bitches like Kirk is like bitching about it the whole time,
Yeah, I agree with you on that too. It was a tough listen Wednesday, and I hope Kirk lays into him.
I know what the dumbest thing Steve does is that he doesn't save the numbers when Kirk sends it. Like, that's basic ass shit.
Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No, sorry, brother. Go ahead.
I think Steve has more to do with like the demise a bit, I guess, of the show than Kirk. Because Kirk, like, you can listen to Kirk and he'll like, even if it's like a slow show or whatever you call it, because he always had shows that were just like 3 hours of pure fucking like you're laughing off your seats, right? But I think like Kirk could always make a lot of stuff funny, but I think Steve is kind of the guy that like took the life out of the show in a sense,
He's responsible for a lot of the great content we get too, a lot of the laughter.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like I would say, I like when he was more like. I think the thing about the show is like it's one of those like cult classics, I guess, where you could be like, you remember the time where Keller came in, or you remember the time where Steve said the Answer Ant thing, or you remember the time, like you could sit around for hours just saying, remember this, the member berries, kind of what South Park says about the show. But I think there is kind of a general like they're not caring, like if there was audio issues and stuff, and it's like they don't care, or Steve doesn't like care about that aspect. When even at the beginning of the show, Kirk was like the sound quality of the show is the most important thing. He was said that like the sound, and you see like that's lacking, and you see other stuff. But I think Steve, when he was like on the ropes with Kirk, like I think they got too comfortable, because when he was on the ropes and he was like scared to say stuff, I think that's where the best Steve content came out, when he's like he thought some Minifan texted Kirk that he was at the Red Sox preseason game, and he's like oh, I know what this is about. I went to that baseball game. And Kirk asked him was like, how was your weekend? And he got all defensive, like those moments are awesome. But you're right. Sorry.
The only thing that like I'd say to give Steve like a break on, and like I do honestly understand how like Wednesday's show can kind of like sound like shit. Like Kirk isn't that technically savvy. He's by himself. I know he could figure out plugging in a microphone. He obviously jokes and says he can't. Like it's like, you know what I mean.
You'd be surprised.
But like I understand like why that show kind of sounds like shit. But I will say that one though, like I said, and I like KFC too. But it was that one was a tough one to get through. But if I'm remembering correctly, you came on the scene as the keeper of Steve's lies.
So that was like my big break
on the beef sandwich.
The big break into this place. Yeah, I was the
weird,
Steve's lie list. So I was back then. It's like I think they wanted me to administer the polygraph to the lies, because I would just every episode there was like 3 or 4 lies where you're like, this guy just says something, you're like, this is totally fucking crazy, So, but yeah, that's how I came in.
With the polygraph, are you still expecting this to actually one day happen? I know they keep saying Wilbur, so what now? We're waiting until 2022 to get Steve on the wire?
Who the fuck would be
Yeah, I may need Dale to sneak me in. He's the only way I'm getting into any live shows nowadays. But no, yeah, I think that would be funny. I think the polygraph, that was one of the craziest, the Steve lies, like where he would just say stuff that it was just nuts. I think I had a list of like I don't know, probably hundreds of lies, and that was like for like it was only in a short period of time, because then once he kind of admitted he was a liar, I stopped, because I was like, he admitted it, right? He came on the Mincel show, and I think I said that, like, at least you're admitting that you're a bold-faced liar. But he just says some stuff weird, like when he says nocturnal emissions and all this shit. It's like what do you? I'm like, do you plan that out, or like what? But it's true. He does have those moments where you're like, this guy's so weird, but he's funny.
Can you remind us why Kirk hates you?
I think it just was like I think so he really liked the Mincel guys, and then the Zonker thing happened, and then I think we're kind of the prototypical like clout chasing guys, where it's like we try to, and like I've been pretty straight up, like I love the clout, I love when people like mention me on the show or whatever. Like I think that's like, I don't know who could say they don't, like even when he's making fun of you, like I think that's awesome that you were able to be a part of something. So but I think then we came back on the YouTube, and then I said, the show sucks. Like I'm not listening to it anymore. I think we need blind. I said a bunch of stuff like that, and I think I was kind of was not over exaggerating, but kind of articulating a point that people were saying. Like that. The show kind of starts slacking, and maybe I went a little too far, but I think it was that episode where that he started being like, fuck this guy. And then I think I said the Barstool Fund, he was doing it like the golden ticket was like a selfish motive, and contract negotiations, which I still kind of think it has a little bit to do with it, but he didn't like that. And that's when he was calling me like crazy. I didn't answer. I said he has to make an appointment with me like you guys did. So you guys, you booked me a couple days in advance.
Can you explain the golden ticket take? What you meant by that?
So I would say, like, I think by doing it to 2023, I thought it was kind of a stupid business idea where I would have done something like, okay, Minifans, you're the enemy, and let's see how much you raise and I'll match, or the show will match in some way, as opposed to doing this 2023 ticket that it's like, there's so many variables, it didn't feel too thought out. I also did think it, like, whatever they're doing now is kind of, they're trying to negotiate their contract, like have some leverage there, because it was good. Like, how good is it to say their contract's coming up for renewal? Oh, well, I have this ticket. We have the Wilbur shows, and sorry, go ahead.
No, but I don't. When that was brought up, because he did say somebody did mention that, didn't he say that he didn't have to necessarily be with Barstool still?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, Kirk did say he'd obviously honor it no matter.
Yeah, the golden ticket's universal.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, for sure. I think they would for sure. But I think, like, you could see now Kirk's Mr. Barstool, right? Like, he's not the Kirk of a couple years ago where fuck Barstool, I'm bigger than Barstool. He's sucking the Barstool's teeth right now. And, like, this is what I wanted from the beginning. My favorite moments are his Barstool interactions. But I think, like, anything could be used as that, like it. And I was never, it always got construed that I was like saying fuck Cherry. The only thing I was thinking, I didn't like the part where they're like, oh, I'll debate Shirley Leong and match $5,000, because, like, it's like an empty kind of threat. Fuck. Like, if you say it, you should donate that, because she's not going to come on, right? So it's like, I didn't like that part, but it was more the business behind it and like how they orchestrated it, as opposed to like the good they were doing. Like, obviously they're doing good, like, I can't say that, but I just
you can't hear it because never a moment where you shoot. I was like,
but couldn't you say, even when you're talking about like the young thing, yeah, she's not gonna come on, but if you throw enough bait out there, then you get more content for the show, you get more people interacting, and who knows, maybe you get lucky and you get one of the idiots actually responding. Like, how funny would it be is if Blind Mike's daddy tweeted something out to someone and Shirley responded to Blind Mike's daddy? I mean, at one point, they are stupid enough where they might fall for it. So why not take the shot if you do it after?
And the one thing I would say about like the donations thing is, like, if someone said like, oh, I'll donate $5 G's to see that, like, in my head they're like paying for content. So like I wouldn't like hold them to be like an actual donate. You know what I'm saying? I know it's like a stupid
But then, would you want to go into each person who's donated after that for the golden ticket? So maybe they did put in like the $10,000 that they would have matched, and they put it in with the ticket. So it's I mean, if at the end of the day, the money's the money, which I think is great.
Yeah. I think I just like, it's just something like, that was my opinion. I wouldn't do it. I thought it was kind of like the wrong move or whatever. But I could see both sides. Like, for sure, it would be hilarious if she came on but I think that was like such like an empty threat, where it was like, she's not gonna come on. It's like, if you're saying you're gonna do it, then you should do it, because the Barstool Fund was great. And then there is other people are saying, and it like, what if you go after an enemy that someone sees it and is like, oh, I was gonna donate, but now this fund is about going after people. So it's like, some things are bigger than like the enemies and stuff. And that was kind of my point too, where it wasn't really his fun. Like, I know Portnoy did it going after enemies. It wasn't his fun. I didn't think it was again, it was like more of a business. Like, I didn't think it was the right move, but like, I'm not the sharpest guy either. Right. So that was my opinion at the time. And like, I still stand by it, but I don't think it's like whatever I said is like 100% the smartest thing in the world.
So I'm going to change topics. Can you explain to us what GVE stands for? What's it about?
So we are GVE. That's it. So pretty much that's it though. Like, what is GVE? We are GVE. We were like, that would be funny if people ask what is GVE, we say we are GVE. But it's kind of like, stands for Griff Vegas Enterprises, because when I get drunk, my buddies call me Griff Vegas. And and then it was kind of a thing like, what is this? We are this. And it turned into kind of what people are saying, it was like a clique, but I was like, the whole point of it is like, anyone could be GVE. There's no barriers to entry. Like, we are GVE, the people united. So it's kind of like saying we are people. Like, we are humans, so we are GVE, except for the Unabomber and maybe Macron. I don't know, we're still thinking about that.
I saw some lady on Facebook say it's just a Minsos rebranded. When someone's asking
I
about
guess so. Yeah, I think I thought it was just funny, like when anyone says what is GB, it says we are GB, but it actually like a lot of, it's like it's kind of like Phil said it. It's like ASAP Mob. It's like a group of people like united on something stupid. You know.
So your Griff Vegas is your drunk name.
Yeah, like when I get like really drunk and I'm partying, my buddies call me Griff Vegas.
So on the YouTube channel a few
These
weeks
are like
ago, they had the
poppy
gallon
level
challenge,
questions.
and Justin failed at it, and we have that great soundbite at the end of the Kirk Minahan show. But Justin wasn't the first one to throw up on the YouTube channel.
Oh,
Right?
oh. Drinking buddies, man.
Yeah.
That was J Love, right?
Was I the first one to
Oh,
throw
yeah,
up?
was the
I
first
probably
one.
was actually. I was one
Jay
of the
was like
first.
third-
That
Jay
was
was like
awesome.
third
I
or
think
fourth.
Drinking Buddies was a hilarious show. It was It was one of my favorite.
And people are
So
saying
were you,
Jay's
were you
was
drinking all
staged.
day, or is it just you had so many drinks within that time frame that it didn't?
It wasn't like being drunk. It was just like, yeah, it was drinking like the 8 beer shots because Phil didn't get a question right. Like he didn't get. It was like down the street, like and the show was how long? Half an hour, and it was me drinking 8 beers. Like it was like once I finished one, it was like I got the next question on. I'm drinking another one. Your stomach just went in shambles, and then you guys saw the aftermath. So, but like, I think that after that, then I started drinking again. So it was. I blame Steve because I was like, you fucking got me fucked up, and now I'm gonna be up all night drinking, and like so it was an awesome show. I thought that was a really.
Did you
funny,
think this was him like talking?
Speaking of
Jeff?
trivia, you're gonna
Yeah, we're
put a
listening to him
team
on a
together for
podcast.
Tim and Cattons?
I don't know. You gotta talk to Justin. I am one of
You're
those
allowed
few
to
guys
tape
that
right
is
now without
banned
John
from the
Trainer.
YouTube network, so I'm not allowed on because all the Minute family has asked if I could be the comment guy on that show every week. And every week they say no, he's banned. And then they said it was because I don't listen to the show. And then when I manned up, I was like, you know what? Okay, guys, I actually still am listening to this show. Justin was silent. So I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I don't want to say like it's Kirk hates me, so he does what because I think it's more Justin doesn't want to get in trouble. So he doesn't want and he knows if I go on Kirk's but why did you let that idiot on? And what if I say something? But I'll say this: if they're listening to this, I respect the comment guy position. That I make it about the comments. It's all about the comments. I'm a man of the people.
So yeah, you were talking about getting kicked off the YouTube. What would you do to be allowed back on? I mean, we've had people clean toilets
All right. Well, we're trying to get it back. We're trying to get it back. My computer's like overheats and just shuts off. It's a lot of work this thing has to do that. Jay, because I make videos, and that's like one of the hardest things you can put your computer through, and I make a lot of videos. What do you mean nobody cares? You just asked a question about it. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, you did. If it was Elvis, I take it all back. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for my outburst. My shit's gonna fucking blow up, dude.
Elvis wants to be the African American version of what's his name, YP.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's showing. He's trying. Elvis, you gotta catch a shark or something.
Sneaks, that's a good point, actually. I do need a new computer. I'd love a GoFundMe.
Like my shirt.
Oh shit.
All right. Can you guys hear it if I play this?
John, did you hear my Kirk joke? That he would die if he ever saw Titan with that shirt at a Starbucks.
Imagine Kirk's right behind me. He's
Hey,
fuck.
Kirkin off.
Fucking Canadian fuck.
Talk about Kirk Minahan and the happenings inside of this world. My name's Buddy.
Are we live again?
Yeah.
Hello.
I have to like restart the fucking podcast though.
So it is Monday morning.
And we were like, what the fuck? And I remember when that was happening, it was going nuts. Like it wasn't like being drunk. It was just like, yeah.
Here, we're starting from here again.
Because Phil didn't get a question right. Like he didn't get. It was like down the street. And the show was how long? Half an hour. And it was me drinking 8 beers. Like it was like once I finished one, it was like I got the.
Yo, my shit is gonna blow up, bro.
Your stomach just went in shambles.
We can postpone it. Shut it down for a while.
I think that after that, then I started drinking again. So it was. I blame Steve because I was like, you fucking got me fucked up, and now I'm it was an awesome show. I thought that was a really funny.
I can carry it till you cool off.
Zonker, that was the point of the joke, you fucking idiot.
I know you gotta talk to Justin. I am one of the few guys that is banned from being so I'm not allowed on because all the Mena family has asked if I could be the comment guy on that show every week, and every week they say no, he's banned, and then they said it was because I don't listen to the show, and then when I manned up and was like, you know what, okay guys, I actually still am listening to this show. Justin was silent, so I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I don't want to say like it's Kirk hates me. So I think it's more Justin.
So they call it.
I don't want to get in trouble. So he doesn't want, and he knows if I go on Kirk's but why did you let that idiot on? And what if I say something? But I'll say this: if they're listening to this, I respect the comment guy position, and I make it about the comments. You know, it's all about the comments. I'm a man of the people.
So,
What are you gonna do the whole time? Get fucked up?
Off the YouTube. What would you do to be allowed back on? I mean, we've had people clean toilets before. So where is going to be your limit to
why would you want to do that?
on the YouTube channel?
I would say something. I love being the comment guy more than anything in my life. So that's one thing I think Kirky could get me at with being like he could get me in a corner where he's like, oh, you want to be the comment guy? Well, you gotta. That's a good question. I don't know. I wouldn't clean toilets because I'm not a big cleaner. I don't really clean. You know, I'm a once it gets messy cleaner. So I don't know. Maybe I would do some fucking pretty weird shit though, probably to get back to the comment guy. We'll see. Well, I'm gonna put it in Steve's hands because
We're gonna take everything out of the freezer and make this work, okay?
Yeah, you won't follow up on it either. So.
Get involved with Blind Light and doing his
I
comments.
couldn't tell you.
So Mincel was the kind of like the cool new thing.
What
Everyone
do you
loved
say?
us, and then me and John were on Mike and the Minifans with Golden. And the whole time when I was on Mike and the Minifans, I was in the comments chirping everyone while I was on, right? Whenever Elvin would talk, they were talking about 9/11 conspiracies, and I was just in the comments, like, just chirping, right? And then John was like, "Hey, Mike, BA's been in the comments this whole time. Like, he should be the comment guy." And then Mike was like, "Okay, I will do it." And I think the first time I was the comment guy was when Kurt was on with his brothers. And so that was like wild. The first time I even attempted doing it was Kirk and his brothers. But I thought it was funny. Like, it is. People think it's like it's a little. I think anyone that's done it now, it is a little bit harder because the comments on those shows go so fast, and you kind of have to try to pick ones that are missed by people that could bring in some laughs. So, but the last few comment guys have had to help out with it. So I'm in the background as the comment guy now. I got my down piece.
He does
Oh,
weird
the,
shit.
the Zonker stuff. Were you involved with bringing Zonker into the world? Like,
Yeah. So somehow I don't know what happened, but Zonker started messaging me and John on Twitter, and John said something
start a
to
fire?
Zonker like,
Like a
"Well, this
campfire?
guy loves charity and Meals on Wheels and something, but he's
Elephant.
a big charity
Be nice
guy."
and
And then
warm.
Zonker was like, "Oh, I love that about him." And he made the first like redirect he made was ba.barstool.com and went to my Twitter account. And then me and John were like, "Wait, is this like the real guy or whatever?" And then it ended up being the real guy, and it was wild because we didn't know. We were just talking to him, like just shooting shit, and then eventually Barstool.com got redirected to the episode, one of the Mental episodes with Menners on it, because I think he liked Menners too. He redirected it to it, and we were like, "What the fuck?" And I remember when that was happening, it was going nuts. Like it was, there was KFC was talking about it, like everyone was
Silent Hill. Yeah.
And even Kirk would like, he reached out to us, or Steve was like, "Great work, guys, this is awesome." And it turned out a little Zonker's is no man, like he's turned out to be, like I don't have as much against him as maybe other people do. Like of course, like him and Kirk and Steve, like they hate him, and I can see why, because he's a self-admitted dick. But like that was pretty cool. And then when we interviewed him, Steve actually reached out to us, being like he's gonna blog it on the Barstool site, and it was like the top blog on the site for like 2 days or something. I think it's probably the most read blog Steve's ever posted on Barstool. That's for sure.
Do you still talk with Zonkers now? Like, are you? And if so, why?
I would say he comes like whenever we're streaming. Like he's kind of like, he's always in the comments. He's always streaming. So I'll interact with him mostly on there. The odd time is DMs, but like I'm a guy, like I'll DM with anyone. I'll talk to anyone, kind of thing. Like but do I talk to Zonker like on a regular basis? I wouldn't say so. He's not part of my everyday texters. That's Sneakers is my everyday texter. He's my guy.
Do you regret like kind of allowing him into the world a little bit?
No, not at all. I'll do it again in a second. Like I thought that moment when it was like the Kirk show, like it got up to the rundown. They were talking about it. It actually got K Marco fired if you think about it, because it led to K Marco like posting that blog, and then
in a roundabout way, you did something good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, K Marco would still be there. So like I would still do it. I thought it was cool. Like if me personally, like as a Barstool fan too, like that was like a cool moment to be like the top blog was on me wearing a butt snorkeler hat and a windbreaker talking to this guy Zonker. Like it was a cool moment. I would definitely do it again. For sure. I don't even think it really ended too bad, because I don't think like anything Zonker tried to do really had to the show like really had much success.
I mean, my writing's not the best, but it's sure as shit better than his. I can say that much.
Yeah. Like I don't think Zonker, he's like, he is funny in a way, but like I don't think he's some like a mastermind like guy that's gonna take down stuff. I think he's just trolling for the most part, but he is very liberal. He's a big lip. He's a huge like liberal guy.
Are you keeping up with the Blind Mike project at all?
Actually, no. That's one thing I don't keep up with.
Do you think you made the right decision to leave?
I guess now that he made $100,000, I guess he's retired in his mind, right? So, I don't want I don't want to speak like if he was really mentally not able to be, like everyone gets in their own things, but like I think he wasted the opportunity in a sense, but I think he could have that show when it was like in its prime was so funny. And I think we've been listening back to the old Menners episodes, and he was saying like Blind Mike was the second voice on one of the most successful podcasts like in the US or in the world if you think about it at one point, right? So even though he got shit on and made fun of, like that's something to say. And I think I don't know, I would have stuck if I was him, I would have stuck it out with Kirk and try to make the YouTube maybe like try to do what he's doing now on the YouTube, right? Or try to grow through with the show. But I don't know. What do you guys think? You guys think he made the good move? Am I allowed to ask questions here?
No, yeah, of course. I think like it's tough because like I just don't know like you were saying if he's ever gonna get the opportunity to be the second like voice like on a huge podcast and stuff. I just like what he's doing is a step down, but I guess if he's happy, he's happy.
Yeah,
I'm gonna concur with Buddy. As long as my son's happy, I guess I'm happy. But I did build him a studio in his basement.
I was gonna say you do like look like Blind Mike's dad. If I had to close my eyes and think of it, I would picture you.
So, being that like that you kind of like Mike or that you do like Mike, do you prefer Monday shows or Friday shows with Jared?
I think that's a good one. I would say I'm liking the Jared shows a bit better now, but Mike is kind of like that guy. He always has that one liner or he'll say something that will always crack me up, where Jared doesn't really do that. I just think the shows in general with Jared have been a bit more lively, I would say.
I would say Monday shows are funnier, but Friday shows are better still. I think both can be true.
Yeah, that's kind of how, because Blind Mike makes me laugh. Like he'll always make me laugh. Like I remember they were talking about chefs once. Like they're talking about Gordon Ramsay, and then Blind Mike just pops up and he's like, "You guys talk in Ohio?" And I started like that. Like will just make me laugh. And but I think his best was when he was like the man of the Minifans, where he knew the inside stuff and he was like that kind of guru on the Minifans. And I think it kind of like it went away from that a bit. So
that's almost what broke him too, like what the Minifans were like saying and stuff. You know what I mean? Him getting too close is almost like what his demise was,
Yeah, because he could, like, if you think about it, he was like one of the boys. Like if you like, and then you guys like guys like Steve from Providence. He's gonna be the most ruthless guy. Like you think that guy is like a man of honor. He's gonna cut you deep at fucking any chance he gets. But like that's the thing. It's just if you think about it, it's like this. You're a buddy that we're just chirping, like, and because we're chirping you more because you're actually like the head of the boys. Like I think he could have maybe looked at it different as opposed to him getting shit on. But I who knows, like. I always am wondering if like people actually in their DMs are saying like go kill yourself and stuff, because like I'm like people hate me. I've never got one, so
I kind of thought the same thing about Blind Mike at the time, where like how does he not know like he's in on the joke? Like, and sometimes people definitely take it too far, like you can see that, but he knows like most of the times we're busting your balls like you're one of us. You know what I mean? Like you don't, you know what I mean? That was my big complaint then. But
yeah, that's what I think too, because it's like I think that like at some point he was like, oh, these guys don't have my back anymore kind of thing. Now they're actually going after me, so that was the one thing where I think that's kind of his demise for whatever you call it, is he kind of disconnected from the Minifans a bit and tried to be like disassociated with them a little bit, but because he's the Minifan that made it, right? If you think about it, when the show started, like they had like MHB on, they had, I don't know if they had DEC on at the time, but they had a few guys like that on, and Blind Mike was the guy that stuck, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, speaking of DEC, did you catch what happened with a certain co-host of mine and his interview with DEC?
Not me.
So I got because that was this week, like Monday DC called in, right? So this week I'm a little bit behind, but I know he called in and he kind of on the. So give me a little backstory, Gus. I don't know, or I don't know if that's right.
Andrew,
right
you
to
want
do.
the backstory?
So basically, the backstory was.
I know he came on and he was spitting a lot of like shit, and then he went on and kind of like backtracked a bit.
Yeah, so we came on. We did 69 minutes last week, and we had DEC on as like one of the premier interview guests. So you hear his side. What he said to a buddy over here was basically what he remembered as the truth. And then Kirk just put him on blast Monday, called him out for everything. Calls him up, picks up the phone, and says, "I must have misremembered." Which, I mean, I work in PR. If I misremembered, I mean, I lied.
Yeah, I think DC, like we had him on Menzel a bunch, and I remember like when he was doing the ads for the Minifan show, the whole time I was like, "So DC, who are you sponsoring today?" Like I was going at him about the ads, you know, because they were calling us cloud chasers. But I think he's a big like a misremembered guy, you know, like that's his go-to. I'll misremember. Like he'll say something to you guys, and then he'll say something else. But I like DC. I know that's the clip that always gets everyone loves that clip. So
as a Mincel, are you kind of like surprised to see these points where I mean when the big people carrying like following him from EEI to Barstool, like your MHBs, like your DECs, they're now completely out of the world 120%. Is this and even like you never know what's happening with Kevin from Bristol. I mean, he still seems to be loyal going through day and day, but he's getting lambasted by sending messages.
I don't know. He's got cut out. I would say Kevin Bristol should keep it short and sweet, maybe.
But as like a Mincel, are you surprised to kind of see these like older Minifans, like the quote unquote OGs of the world, getting out of the world?
I think kind of it's like you're seeing it now where it's like, okay, there's probably all those older Minifans that just love the Kirk and Callahan show. And then when he did the podcast, they're like, oh, it's not the same, right? Like Kirk and Callahan together were awesome. And now it's just Kirk bullying these two fucking losers, right? So I could see how they kind of slowly fell off. So I could see that, right? Because it's kind of happening, I think, now a little bit where you had those crazy episodes. It was like an addictive podcast, and now it's like 3 times a week. I know they're working on the case or whatever. I hope that's successful. I hope it's not the Marty Walsh investigation and it's successful. You know. So.
Are you looking forward to the case?
I'll definitely listen because I think like I'm a fan of Kirk, so I'll definitely listen. But I was never a big what's it called, like the true crime guy. So, but I'll listen for sure because especially like those true. It's one of those things like if you do a good job and you get like people hooked, and like Kirk is kind of like, if you think about it, he knows how to hook people in with like how he did his podcast, right? So if he can like do like get it to like a making of the murder, kind of like where you're hooked in, you're into this world, he might create a new world. So that's what I hope from him. But I'll definitely listen, yeah, for sure. Hopefully it comes out soon. I think they've been delaying it, pushing it back. I don't know.
I know, yeah. I think Kirk said originally he wanted it out before like mid-February, and then it was like by the end of the month. But I don't know if
I mean,
he's still on that.
To get the
That's
show
something that I wish for sure Barstool gets behind. Like I know we've said it like obviously a couple times, but like if they don't get behind that, like then I'm sure.
I think for sure they're gonna get behind it. Like that. So that's what will be interesting to see Kirk with the Barstool like promotional machine behind him. That would be like a cool thing to see. Could this be big if Kirk got promoted by Barstool? I guess it's like the age-old question, right? I actually had something for Blind Mike's daddy. I'm not a big caller on the show, and I don't like to get, even when they call me, I'm a little bit of a pussy. I don't answer. I'll man up to that. But my whole idea I had based off your call was, I thought some guy should call him his Blind Mike's stepdad, like Kevin, and be like the nicest guy. Be like, hey, greetings, salutations. This is Kevin. I was like, Mike's a great kid. I love him. Because he always like. So that was always my idea. But like, I never had. Oh, maybe someone will listen to this and do it, because I thought it would be.
But that Canadian accent would be fucking perfect too.
Yeah,
hi
I'm
there,
so
how's it
like
going?
I'm not. I'm like I calls like I have to say like doing that is something I know I can't. Like I would not be good at for sure. So I have to have respect for the guys like you. The daddy calls are some of the funniest calls. Like
I'm a
like,
diamond call too.
I was gonna say you should call in as Grifty Vegas. You know.
I do have a BA caller. I have a guy that calls in as BA, so I send him lines and he calls in as BA. So hopefully that comes up. But I thought that would be funny as like because Mike called him like 10 out of he was a 10 out of 10 when he was rating his parents. So I thought that would be funny to be like, why Mike's stepdad's the nicest guy. He thinks Mike's doing a great job all the time. You know.
I'm so proud of you, boy.
Sorry.
You're just talking a nice Canadian accent. Oh, I'm so proud of you, Mikey boy.
So proud. Greetings. Hey, it's
how's the girlfriend?
I'm so proud of him. He's the son I never had. You know.
Oh man, the potential. That'd be.
Oh,
I think that had. I think so. Hopefully someone. Hopefully someone does it because that'd be. I thought that would be a good playoff to you too. Like it would have been like, and if somehow you got like the back-to-back calls, like you went stepdad and fly my dad.
I hate that guy.
Yeah.
What a fucking prick.
He's such a pussy.
Yeah, so I thought that could have been cool. So I always wanted. I remember one night I was drunk and I think it was in Discord. I was saying it to people. They had the same reaction. They're like, "Fuck, that would be so good. Like that would be a good caller."
Damn.
Yeah, I'm working on something right now. I've been dying to fucking call in. I'm either sleeping or I can't get on.
Yeah. I see. I never. I think they called me once when we bought the views or whoever bought the views for us, whatever. You know. Yeah, they called me. And I remember that was the one time. I remember I was coming like, I was like going to work, getting out of the shower. I see fucking Maine. Where's Seafront again? Wherever Dexter, Maine, or some place in Maine. I'm like, who the fuck is this? Then I answered. They tried to trick me. He was like, "Oh, John said you bought the views," and I was like, "I don't think he would say that. You're just fucking with me." And then Kirk was like, "Ah, you're not getting it past him."
But so what happened with that? So did somebody buy views? What happened?
I have a theory, but it's like so there was a guy that was on our first episode, like he was from the Barstool Reddit, and he kept guaranteeing us he's gonna get 5,000 views. He kept guaranteeing us. So I think it was him, in all honesty, because I think he was like, then we didn't have him on, and apparently his name was Brad, I think. So I think Brad actually bought the views. But what's crazy about the views, Justin legit like interviewed all of us on like a StreamYard, and he didn't do it for content or anything. He just did it and fucking, and just like he just did it. It would have been one of the. I wore a suit, and I remember I was making jokes, and he kept saying like, "You know what? He is like, it's not. This is serious." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" It's like he is an interesting guy, you know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think back to the views episode. That's like the first time that Kirk banned you guys?
No, I don't think. I think that was like, yeah. I think that's where like the whole they're banned, they're not banned, because that was kind of the whole theme with us. Like, oh, these guys are banned. I remember he would say we're banned, and we were just like, okay, like, we're definitely not banned. One time, like we started recording, and he stopped it. Like whoever was producing just ended it, and then like 10 minutes later, he let us go back on. So I think he liked to fuck with us too, which was cool. But I think that was the first time like that whole like, oh, should we ban the mint cells? Like they're buying the views, they're all in it for themselves. They're trying to like who knows who did it, but it was a funny time for sure. It was a funny time. But yeah, I think that was the first time where it was like these guys are banned. I have to say one thing. What Andrew squeezed me out of his news segment the other day. You know,
I did.
The audio doesn't work. He squeezed me out.
I forgot. I actually forgot to hit. I thought I hit record and I thought I saved it, but I didn't. I pulled a Steve.
Oh, really?
I pulled a big Steve. I messed up.
That's funny.
Do you like that?
The high blind Mike got pissed, man. He was like, "This guy wasted your time." I was like, "I don't think it was like." I was like, "We talked for like half an hour, like,
bullshit,
just random stuff. We just bullshit stuff."
I seen Hi by Mike's tweet last weekend. He's like, "When's BA finally gonna be on?" I was like, I've said it like in like DMs, but I don't think I've actually said it like to the world that BA is gonna be on. You know what I look? No, we said it at Jaffa Scranton Super Show one day. But I was like, what the fuck's he talking about? But I guess it was about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I like you guys are obviously doing a good job because you're getting talked about a lot and stuff. And for me, I was like, I'll go on and shoot the shit. I like to just fucking shoot the shit and talk about, especially talking about like Kirkman and show and that kind of stuff. So like you can talk about that shit for hours, you know. So.
I mean, when you go back to when you first started listening, I mean, you're Canadian, you obviously a Barstool fan, so you pick up on it. Did you ever think it would get to, I mean, you can even ask any Minifan from the beginning, do you ever think it would get from this point where you're listening to every day in June to now with this secret project and trying to become, as you were saying, like earlier in this episode, he's 100% Barstool guy now, and he's doing everything like with it, which I think, for me, I like it because then like this case obviously, but with you, did you ever think you'd actually dive into the Barstool scene?
Yeah, it's honestly crazy how like he dived into the Barstool scene at like the raw. Like I wish he did this when the show was like in its peak, you know. And then he had, because it could have been nuts. But I always thought that it would he would go on to Barstool. Like another time was when he wanted to do the subscription stuff. I think I went on DEC show and said fuck the subscription, and I was saying Tomato Can Minahan is gonna be talking to Tomato Can. Then he DM'd me being like, dude, you're drunk. What are you doing? And I said, I DM'd him back, what motivates you? Like I was being like a philosopher. Yeah, and then I said something like, he's like, stop saying it. He said like, I think he was just being like, you're drunk, stop saying it. But I was like, I just don't want you to go subscription. I think it's the wrong idea. Like I don't want you to be irrelevant. Maybe
I just want to tell him he was boring and he sucked.
Sounds like something in my head.
Yeah, but I didn't mean it in a way like I didn't mean it like I think I just thought the subscription again was like a bad business idea. Like I was like, once you do that, it's like no one hears the show anymore. It's just like
Jay gets mad because you let him on that John Short show and not him.
Yeah, like sorry, go ahead. No,
you can do a Patreon, but we'll see like
the thing is, it's like Kirk doesn't need, like, it's not about the money. The only reason you do the
kid hasn't paid his dues, okay, John?
Squeeze out money because like you could, if you do the math, like they're gonna be making so much more money. But it's like if it's not about the money, it's about his voice being heard by as many people as possible.
Jay, remember the time you called
the point of doing the subscription? Like fuck this line, Steve.
Yeah, he is.
Pockets, fuck that fucking ass.
Jay, who is the person you told should feel lucky that they were in voice chat with me?
Dogs are expensive, man.
Was it Soprano guy?
Well, I honestly think if Kirk's making whatever $200,000-300,000 from Barstool, you should take 100 away.
You should feel lucky. Privilege is in the VC with us right now.
Fucking show, you know.
You don't realize who you're talking to.
I mean, and obviously he can't like
forefathers.
If he just signed a new deal with EEI, but like him and Mutt are so fucking electric together. I love it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if he doesn't care about the money, like, split his contract half and half. I guarantee they'll make more money in the long run because like, that show has like longevity too. You know.
Have you gone back and listened to some of the old stuff with like Kirk from his EEI days?
Oh yeah. Like that was a good thing about DC. That Minifan show YouTube channel was awesome. I think I've watched every video, and sometimes like. When you listen back to like the WEI stuff,
it was the dude that ran out of there.
Better than I could see why the people are like the show isn't the same because like that's
dude. I went at him on Twitter because he was
talking shit. I think the callers like with the John from Westport or those guys like that. Like,
yeah, he was trying to badmouth us, so I started fucking showing receipts of shit he said in the Discord, and he fucking disappeared.
Replicate that. Like how on the calls now because like you need the live aspect.
No, it wasn't $5,000. This was like
I remember
10 grand, 30 grand out of fucking out of whack.
Him going like
he lost like 30 grand that night.
The other station because I forget what it was.
Because Felger said something about how
like that stuff and like
I was behind
here. I don't think he won one. He was betting like 10 grand here, 5 grand, and then I think he might have had one $15,000.
Now what happened before was like him going at like these like guys that they interviewed that had like regular spots, you know, like Stephen A.
Then he's you guys wish you had the money. You could fucking
whoever else come on.
like
that was funny how Kirk would like kind of fuck with them. Fuck you, I don't care that you're like they're paying you to come in for this everyday spot. Like, I'm gonna fuck with you. Like,
did you hear his interview with Stephen A. Smith where he's like, it's just unbelievable. Like when like that finally breaks up, it's just so good.
Yeah, so like those kind of things. So I could see why like that show is fucking people love it, right? Because like you don't get that now. So, but I think I've watched everything on for at a certain point everything on that Minifan YouTube channel. That was awesome.
Yeah, but a lot of people are scared to come on the show. Like you won't get those kind of moments anymore with those electric interviews with people because they're all scared. They're all scared.
They know what's gonna happen too when Steve calls. They know they're gonna get beat the fuck up. Like,
yeah, and it's a totally different kind of I guess platform, whatever. Whereas the radio, it wasn't like it was like almost like a safe space, right? It was it was like a different outlet where this podcast is like, who knows what these fucks could do? Like I wouldn't put Steve like Steve says he has like journalistic integrity. Like I don't think Steve has fucking any integrity when it comes to that shit. Like so like I could see why they don't get people coming on the show because I think there's like just a general lack of trust there. Whereas the radio brought those moments where you get these guys that will like, oh okay, I'll go on WEI because like whatever it's one of so that's
I think that's the biggest part like exactly what you were just saying where like they're when they called in they knew they're calling EI, it's a big platform like that like fucking maybe millions of people will listen to it, it's well known, you know what I mean, if it gets picked up it'll be everywhere. But now on like Kirk's show like they're just like, oh, we're not gonna legitimize him, which is just fucking like it's just so frustrating.
It would be awesome.
That's the generation, though. That's the typical show has no fucking backbone.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah, you can say that about me too. You can say that about me too. Like they called me, I didn't answer, but it's just like. But I think that's like when they do like. I guess Steve probably reaches out to people before, but maybe. But when you do like this gotcha journalism, I call it Kirky Leon, Kirky Leon journalism, where you just call it. He's not gonna like that. But
no, he's not.
When you're just calling people out of the blue, it's like that's not. You know what I mean? That's
but
not.
Those people that he calls are all fucking idiots. Dude.
But
they're
even
they're
but
so hypocritical. Like he called that fucking guy who's like, oh, I have a leak in my fucking basement. That guy's a fucking.
It's all bullshit excuses, and I think, but I guarantee you they do not. I at least think Steve's smart enough to at least do the reach out before.
Yeah,
as long as
he does that.
And I think for everyone they've called, they've tried to reach out behind the scenes, and then you get pissed off and you bring it out to the air. I think that's a smart play if you have that platform like Kirk does, because they're hearing it.
I don't think Steve has any follow up. Like I think Steve could say like he fucking just reached out, hey, you want to come on? Like I don't think he has any like drive to get them on. Like Dave Cullinane would be fucking hounding these guys down to get them on. Like Steve's not doing that, right? Like I think Steve could get people on. I don't think he cares to like put in the work. I guess.
But don't forget, like I don't want to. I'm defending Steve here, but he's a man of. At the beginning when they weren't getting ads, he was the one doing that shit. Now they're doing with this new project. I don't know what he does behind the scenes, but it seems like he's got a lot of shit on his plate as well.
I don't know. I have a real
says he's not like hardworking. You know what I mean? Like, he never shits on his work ethic. Just like maybe sometimes the shit he forgets.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what like his day to day is, but I think either he's a bad delegator because then they're underutilizing Justin to do certain things, or I just think he could be prioritized. I think getting someone on the show like. I guess I get what you're saying, where it's like he definitely has stuff to do, but like I don't think like I'm trying to think of like what does this guy actually have to fucking do, Like I have a fucking full-time job, like I'm pretty sure all of you guys have a job, like he has the best job in the world, like what besides like I know getting the sales that's something for sure, like that's tough, but I don't think he's doing that right now, right? Like I don't think he's trying to get more sales, right?
I'm not sure. I think maybe they're always
loaded with ads.
Yeah,
ads, which is it's a great sign that they're getting ads like this. Remember at the beginning that was kind of not Kirk didn't mind, but that was kind of a hair across Steve's ass was the lack of sales support that they were getting as far as ad revenue and all that other stuff. And now you see like we have fucking 6 ads a show now. You have Omaha Steaks this
Oh, when I say babble,
No, I think like if you think about it now, okay, that part of Steve's job is gone, but okay, he's working more on the case, so who knows what kind of stuff that. I just think like I don't know. I don't think there's certain things I think I would prioritize my ship to. Like I think if he trying to get like crazy guests on the show, like that could have been something to prioritize. But I don't think he's as hardworking as everyone thinks either.
Before we finish interviewing our favorite
You're right.
guest so far.
You guys fucking with me? Are you fucking with me? You guys like? I don't know. I thought you guys were squeezing me out, man. I think is this even gonna air? Is this
No,
gonna
it's gonna air. But do you have any? We like before we end. We usually like to ask our guests to ask us some questions. Do you have any questions for us?
I think I asked the one about I kind of said about the call. Okay, I guess I'll say it to you guys like what are you guys listening every day? Are you guys or are you guys like catching up? Maybe?
I mean,
every day, guy. It's easier with my line of work. It's easier to listen.
Okay.
I would say I do every day. It's difficult at times. I mean, my job I'm at a home office every day, so that's nice. I have the podcast in just to let the time go. But I mean, I'm paying attention, one because the show and I like it. Two, I've got the news segment going, so I'm trying to keep up on that, which is always fun. And then three, I got to follow on Twitter whatever the hell you guys are doing, because basically the GVE is starting half this shit I have to follow. I never because of Jason from Attleboro, I've woken up to like 60 notifications on my phone. It's the worst.
Jason from Attleboro is a notification fucking sass.
He gives no fucks, so just fucking go after you.
I love him. He's my guy. My next, I guess I didn't, buddy. What did you? Are you like? Do you catch up, or are you like you listen as soon as you can?
I pretty much listen as soon as I can. Like Monday for sure, because I got shit on. Like, and I knew that was coming. So
yeah, those ones you listen to right away. Yeah. Those for sure. When you know you're gonna get talked.
I wanted to hear it before anybody else could. Before I got like a message, you know what I mean? So I was like, all right, whatever. I took my licks. I deserve that.
Those are the ones where you're like when you like the show, because I can't listen to the show at work, so like those are the days where it's like you know you're getting talked about. You look at Twitter and it's just notifications that go through the roof, and I'm like, fuck, what happened here? The other question I was gonna ask you guys is, sorry, actually, buddy, what were you gonna say?
No, I'm just I'm usually pretty current. Like I said, I think Wednesday might have been the first time where I was like. Because like normally I'll play like I'll be playing video games and like listening, you know what I mean? But like Wednesday was the first time I was like, yeah, I guess I'll just listen to whatever this FIFA soundtrack is.
Yeah. Wow. My second question is, what is GB? What is GB?
We are GB.
Beautiful baby. That's all. That's all it is.
The
cat's out of the bag. The cat's out of the bag. Buddy soon is gonna be big into the he's gonna have GB in his fucking bio soon. He already got shit on. It's just the pad. It's just the pad of the.
It's over now.
Another funny kind of tidbit is DC DM me being like, "Are you on the outs with Kirk?" So you can tell this guy doesn't listen to the show at all. And I was like, yeah, like I'm like, I think it's kind of a joke or whatever. But he's like, yeah, you know, he will always turn on you eventually. And then I just wrote, we are not alone. That's all I wrote.
I think I saw that.
I think I sent it to so many people because I was like, this is just too.
Oh, it might have been in that new 50 chat. That thing is crazy. I don't know.
I haven't. Nope.
Hey, Daddy, you're lucky. Blind Mike's daddy, you're lucky because there's fun. I was calling you Daddy as a fucking, I was like a nickname, and I was like, that didn't come out good.
Yes, Daddy.
But there's so many fucking private threads out there. It's best probably stay out of them.
Yeah, no, that one is still like in my requests. I'm like, I was in the first one. Yeah. It was too much, dude. I had to keep muting it. I was like, what the?
I would say. Turn off your notifications and never read. I just come in there with something like I'm not gonna ever read what happened before. You know, it's too deep. You know. And that I guess that's it. That's about it. That's about it for me. I was trying to ask you kind of a couple things while we talk. So.
Anybody have anything else?
No, I'm good. It's nice to be out of the booth for once.
Oh yeah, out of the meter booth. Yeah.
Out of the makeshift meter booth.
We're recording on Zoom today. Is that a crack pipe in your hand or is that a
No, it's a pen. It's a golf pen.
Oh, I thought I was gonna say it was a fork, dude. When you were talking to BA before.
No, it's a driver pen. That I like to golf a lot. I'm not John.
Why do you have it in your hand right now?
I take notes. That's how I remember crap.
You're taking notes for the BA interview. Like this is not a big gap, dude. I'll legit talk to anyone.
I got ADHD. If I don't remember, like the question is gonna go completely off the rails. I try to stay on top.
Yeah, I go off the rails very easily. I'll say that. I go off the rails.
All right, this is good.
All right, boys.
Yeah.
All right, boys.
Thanks,
Thank
BA.
you.
Appreciate you.
And no problem. Anytime, man. Oh, man.
I got a fart so bad.